Hello and welcome to Dressmaking Amore. I'm so happy to bring you part 2 of sewing this elegant and functional and simply stunning Olivia maxi skirt featuring most perfect eye-catching cargo pockets. I'm using our new Olivia skirt PDF sewing pattern, which you can get at the link below in the description. And please do watch part 1 of the sewing process, it's linked below for you as well. I'm using a poplin fabric and we left off at sewing the flap of our cargo pockets, so let's get right back into it. Fold the flap piece in half right sides together and pin the sides. Then sew, seam allowances being 1.2 centimeters or half an inch. Once you've sewn them, turn the flap piece out to the right side. I don't always trim the corner here on the inside. At times like these, they are useful to leave them, as when you fold them in carefully, they will help keep the right angle and the shape of the flap's corner. Then press it flat. I like to press the sides first so that my seam won't peek out to the right side, then press the rest of it. Here's our edge, which is looking towards the wrong side so that the right side is completely clean. By the way, this is exactly why I choose to create the instructions to my sewing patterns with real fabric examples instead of illustrations, as this is just something that can't be translated through drawings. You must see how the fabric behaves and moves in real life. So here they are, perfectly identical. If not, you can either trim the excess or redo this. Top stitch the flap from the right side, the interface side, all around 5 to 6 millimeters or 1/4 inch from the edge. Right after this, turn it to the wrong side, the not interface side, and stay stitch the raw edge of the flap. In the middle, we'll make a tiny little pinch here to gather up the excess fabric just like this. This will prevent the flap from turning up. Here they are. It's important that they are really tiny, about 1 millimeter. Here we top stitch the flap all around, then we stay stitched the top with little pleats, and now press to flatten it all out. Check that both flaps are the same length and width. Draw a seam guideline 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 of an inch down from the bottom edge of the flap. Here's our skirt, and take the flap that we just marked, place it wrong side up against the top edge of the pocket. The flap is a few millimeters bigger than the pocket at the sides, and the distance from the pocket opening edge to the seam line is about 1.5 centimeters or 5/8 of an inch. So pin the flap to the skirt, and then we will sew the flap to the skirt following our drawn seam guideline, backstitching at both ends. Repeat to the other flap. Then take out your pins and trim the seam allowances of the flap to half. Nicely flip over the flap down, covering the pocket, and pin. Now top stitch this edge 5 to 6 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch from the folded seam edge. You'll see that on the inside everything is very neat. Now press and do the same to the other flap. Serge the center front of both front panels of the skirt and press to flatten the threads. Then turn it to the wrong side and place the front panels right sides together. Match all the marks, including the top center mark up here. Match up all the edges and pin the center front seam. Here we have this corner, so mark 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch up from the corner. From this point down to the end, we'll sew the center front seam. Just like this. Now here we have our center mark at the waistline. Pin the panels here vertically like this. Turn the skirt to the right side, and with the seam allowances turned towards the inner facing side here, place everything smoothly and press this fold on the overlapped facing at the center front. Make sure that you press it correctly so that the folded crease is on the wider part of the facing. Take the pin out and open the folded side. Here's our zipper, and place it right sides together with the underlapped facing, the smaller, unfolded side, right along this edge. Pin the zipper, and we can shorten the excess of the zipper at the waistline later on. Sew the zipper. So that you evenly sew here, open up the zipper so it doesn't bother you and continue sewing. We sewed right underneath the serger seam, as you can see. Now fold away the zipper and place a top stitch on the fold line right next to the zipper itself. Just like this. You can see that the center mark is next to the zipper. Now place the folded edge over top of the zipper, matching the center front markings on both panels. Pin or base stitch along this folded edge. Now turn the skirt to the inside and pin the other side of the zipper tape only to the facing like this. If you can't sew straight because the zipper is in the way, start a little further down, and later on you can come back and sew this part. Open up the zipper and sew the leftover part here. Here's our zipper hidden inside. We sewed the other part of the zipper, now keeping it pinned, press it. Take your fly template, we'll use it for our top stitching guide. Feel where the zipper ends and place a mark there. Then take your template and place it right against that mark and mark on the fabric the top stitching line. I'm using a disappearing ink pen here. Pin around where we're gonna sew so that the fabric won't stretch or move around, and then start to sew from this end, going around to the top. You can also base stitch this before sewing. So top stitch, sewing slowly and carefully to make sure there's no fabric hiding underneath for a smooth stitch. Following your marked line, here's what it should look like. Head over to your iron and this is what it looks like. The top stitch seam goes right underneath the zipper, and now we can take the pins out and give it a good press. Take the fly shield, fold it in half right sides together, and pin this little side here. Sew this slanted edge with 5mm or 1/4 inch seam allowances. Here it is, turn it out to the right side and press, starting with our folded edge. And finish the raw edge by serging and hide your excess thread and press it again. Turn the skirt inside out and place the fly shield on top, covering the zipper just like this, matching the curved edge with the folded corner here, and the straight edge matching with the serged edge of the shield. Cover the zipper and pin the straight edge seam allowances. Sew the shield just to the seam allowances, this edge here. Turn the skirt away from the seam allowances and from the wrong side, sew the fly shield to the seam allowances, just like this. The zipper is completely covered by the flap. Now at the end, turn it over and make a little tack here to secure it. From the wrong side, go back and forth a few stitches to secure this end to the fly shield. This is how it should look like. Open it up and you'll see that the fly is secured nicely underneath. Now fold the waistband in half, wrong sides together, and press, shaping it to give it the slight curve that we need. Look for the marks on the waistband. From one side we have a mark close to the edge. This mark here is a center mark for the skirt. So on the skirt we have the center front mark at the waistline. So these two marks match up together, and here we have the seam allowances of the waistband. So pin the skirt and the waistband right sides together, and then match up and pin the side seam marks, the center back, and then pin in between. Sew the waistband to the skirt with 1/2 inch to 1 cm seam allowances. Sew all around, making sure that the fabric lays smoothly. And now here's what we have. We can cut off the excess of the zipper now and check if you have an even edge and that the zipper is sewed at an even line so that everything is matching up together. Now that we have it all sewed and the zipper excess cut off, serge the other edge of the waistband and then press just the finished edge of the waistband to embed the threads. Then I'll press the seam allowances of the waistline towards the waistband. Now fold the ends of the waistband in half, right sides together, folding the seam allowances up towards the waistband and pin. Do the same to the other side, folding it along the center crease and folding the seam allowances up. We will sew these ends here. Snip off the seam allowances at an angle if you like, then holding it at the edge like this, fold it in to turn it right side out. I only snip off the corner if it's thick fabric. Here it's actually going to help us. So here's our beauty here. Repeat this to the other side. Turn out the whole waistband right side out, and now pin the waistband all around. You can see that at the corner the seam allowances are folded in. Unfold it so the serged edge lays flat and pin it from the right side. You want the serged edge covering the waistline inside the skirt so that it transitions smoothly from being folded to then laying flat. Pin the waistband at the side seam, at the back, and then in between. You can either sew right into this folded crease or top stitch around the waistband 2 to 3 mm or 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Just like this, a perfect little corner here. Here's what our top stitch looks like. Now we press the waistband using a tailor's clapper to your advantage. Press the center seam on the inside. I'm pressing it open, but you can also press it to one side, whatever you prefer. Check it from the right side. Then serge and press the bottom edge of the skirt. You can try it on and see how long you'd like your skirt to be. I wanted ours here to be extra long, so I'm just going to fold the serged edge to the wrong side and top stitch it. But you can go ahead and fold 2, 4 or more centimeters of the bottom edge up to the wrong side, pin and sew. So press your hem. And then take a needle and thread and a little hook and eye here, and sew the hook to the overlapping side of the zipper fly right above the zipper, and the eye under the hook on the underlapping side, also right over the zipper so you match up nicely. And sew. You can also make a buttonhole on the overlapping side and then sew a button to the other end. So we sewed our closure here, so zip up the zipper, close the hook and eye, and look at our beautiful work. And giving your garment a finishing press like always, we are done with our gorgeous Olivia skirt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to sew this beautiful piece yourself. I know you'll love it. You can get the PDF downloadable sewing pattern that I used below at the link in the description of this video, and happy sewing!